Internet, I'm Chaz.
And I'm Dan. Welcome to Wine is Serious Business, episode 220. We're back with the Portland master of Riesling, Ewald Moseler. So happy to have you back. And we're not only talking about Riesling today, got some other things. But
exactly, I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a little bit of Riesling, a little bit of some other things. And this is an estate so Fürst Löwenstein is the first three bottles that we're going to talk about. And they make wine from two different regions.
Exactly. And that is the specialty this evening. Normally I have Mosel wine with me, with the name Moseler, coming from the Mosel, that's of course my first priority. But today I brought some wine from the Rheingau and from the Franken region. And that is very unique. This estate has a winery in each location, or vineyards in each location, or in each wine region. So, and the first wine is called Schloss Löwenstein, and the unique thing about this wine is a wine that comes from two wine regions.
So it's a true blend, right?
Yeah, it's a blend of two wine regions, but also of two varieties, because the most famous variety in the Rheingau is Riesling, and then the most famous variety in the Franken region is Silvaner, and this one is also a blend of Silvaner and Riesling.
Okay. So, like how 50-50 or
I don't know. It's not really told.
Proprietary blend.
Yeah, exactly.
and they do a little English translation for you on the bottle too. So Löwenstein means lionstone.
Exactly.
Right. So they've got the lion on the stone.
Yeah.
And cool name.
And of course, this one is called basically a table wine, because if it is called a Qualitätswein, the wine can come only from one particular region, but it's all from their grapes from their own estate, but blended from two wine regions together. So,
interesting. So even in Germany, so this has to be tougher wine than
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thanks for joining us on the show. Yeah, it's been a long time. So awesome.
And I just like this right away. It's like bright, fresh, a little bit of floral, not too complicated, but really inviting.
Like sort of citrus components, the nose, some maybe slightly like apple. I'm sort of like trying to pin the right one, but it's like pretty general like apple aromas. Maybe a hint of stone fruit, and maybe a bit of minerality to the nose too. It smells nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great fresh summer wine. I mean, the Silvaner is a little bit softer in the acidity than Riesling in general, but you get a lot of minerality. Wow. And so the estate is also very well known for making dry wine, you see. I mean, you can see this one here is quite a dry wine.
Which is really nice. Yeah. And I feel like the... isn't this great? Yeah, like the acidity is good there, and I feel like Silvaner brings a lot of floral characteristics that a lot of people like about Viognier. But as you all know, I probably prefer Silvaner. But you get some of those white flower flavors that are similar, and the way that the two grapes work together in this are really nice. This is so refreshing, right? You could sit down and just drink 3 bottles of this, hanging out all night. Right?
Yeah, easily. Like really killer acid going on here. Against like a strong citrus component. Maybe a little bit spinning towards like a green apple sort of thing, but it's really not very strong. But just the overall texture, I guess, is what I'm finding really interesting about it. It almost feels like tannic, like I've got a little bit of grip in the cheeks. Yeah, just a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And I like that quite a bit in my white wines. I like when they have a bit of that texture and a bit of that grip. So I think this is rad in that regard.
Basically, pretty nice body to the wine too, Yeah.
So say that one more time, sorry?
Nice body.
Nice body, yes, absolutely, yes.
Mouth feeling and...
Yeah, totally. I really like that added addition of texture and body. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah.
And I've been learning that too. It's pretty common for Germans to leave their white wines on the skins for a little while too. Like it doesn't get the orange color like a lot of skin contact white wines do, or people that do it for like a month or whatever. But it's really common for a day, 2 days, and get some of those textural components.
And this has hit that. Yeah, this has hit that mark really well.
And what's the retail price on this?
Around $13, so it's really a very affordable wine.
Yeah,
that's killer.
Which I really recommend.
I'll remember the label.
Yeah,
very easy.
It's an easy label to recommend, and I feel like this would have a pretty broad appeal too. If people like heavier, richer Chardonnays, they wouldn't go for it. But if you like lighter, fresher, crisp wines, this is the real crowd pleaser, I think.
Absolutely.
Glass Force? Is not Glass Force anywhere in Portland? It should be.
Yeah.
It should be. Yeah. Okay. If you work in a restaurant, get a hold of this guy.
Exactly.
Get a hold of this guy. Yeah.
All right, what's the second wine we're doing?
Yeah, then after the blend, we're moving to the Franken region, and this one is 100% Silvaner. And
Little rinse?
sure.
100% Silvaner, all right.
Yeah, the estate have a 1,000-year tradition in this the Franken region, and they have some of the best vineyards. They are very terraced vineyards, and they are known for their dry wines in the Franken region.
So do they make like the I see their VDP. So they make the Gross Quebecs in the box bottle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Box bottle.
Yeah,
What do you say?
box bottle. Yeah, they are also available in box bottle.
Yeah, and I know you've worked with Franken wines for a number of years in the past too. Do you feel like this is pretty typical of Silvaner that you've had?
I think it's a very typical Franken Silvaner. You know, a lot of minerality and.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
And what year?
14.
14. All right.
Yeah. This smells absolutely killer. Just a couple whiffs of it, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, good minerality, a lot of like citrus peel complexity.
Yep.
Like more like red apple aromas, but yeah.
And maybe it's because I just got done eating cantaloupe, but like it's got like an orange melon sort of thing to it too that I find really nice. It just smells awesome. It smells really good. And again, with like almost a minerality undertone kind of to it. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, when I traveled to the Franken region and went to a restaurant and had a fish dish, you need to have a Silvaner. I mean, that's really what.
Nice. Yeah, this I could see going very well with that. I could see something like this, like even with like oysters or something. You know?
Oh man,
it'd be freaking awesome. Yeah. I know people like typically tend towards like Chablis or something in that regard.
Yeah, if you like your Muscadet, this is a really good.
Yeah, this is freaking smoking. Yeah. Anyway, high acid, sort of like minerally undertones, stone fruity. Yeah, orange citrus as opposed to like lemon citrus or something. I don't know. That's sort of that component to me.
Yeah.
Less texture here than the last wine. Is that like maybe?
I think it comes also across a little bit drier than the first one. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that is this entirely dry because it feels like it.
Yeah, having these side by side, you can definitely sense that there was maybe a little bit of sugar left in this one, right? Yeah, based on texture components, but
and maybe the Riesling gives a little bit more fruitiness in the first one.
Absolutely, yeah, totally. And but man, this is again a really nice dry wine. Yeah.
And I feel like as far as like other white wines of Germany and Austria, you hear people talk about Gruner Veltliner a lot, and I think this fills a similar slot too. Exactly. It's a little more delicate, but it still has a little bit of those greener flavors, a little more crisp, crisp character. But it is also this one's also really accessible, and also not too expensive either, right?
No, it is around $15-16. So
now that's that's smoking.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think another good fit for me. Man, it's funny. Normally I'm like talking to people and like saying, look, get in touch with the retailers, get in touch with them, I'll buy the wine. But here I'm talking to restaurants because this is another one where I think. With a lot of different foods, this would be really good on the table, and at that price point, it's right in there.
Yeah, I think there's not so much Silvaner on the market at all.
No,
I think Tatomic is the only producer in Oregon who have Silvaner so far. I know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Who else?
I think so, and I really like the Teutonic one.
Yeah, it's good. They do very good. With that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this on a bottle get this off a list for what, like $35 or something like that. That's a killer deal, even like a restaurant. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so third wine. This is the Riesling Kabinett Feinherb.
Exactly. And here there's also the individual single vineyard on the bottle.
Oh.
Hallgarten Schönhell.
Thank you.
I know. Yeah, we have long names in Germany.
Little rinse.
So.
Man, when we were in Germany all together, we were drinking 13s, and I've got a very fond memory of 2013, especially in the Kabinett level. Across the board, the quality level was just through the roof.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more body, than...
And it wasn't a heavily hyped year yet, right? Like it came behind 12 that got all the press and lots of talk, but there's a lot of high quality wines that came out of 2013.
Exactly, and I think the few years of age do the wine very well.
Right.
Yeah.
And what are your feelings about the Rheingau today? It seems to me that I hear a lot more people talking about it than I did 10 years ago. That it's more popular. Do you think so, or maybe not? Maybe not.
The Rheingau was always the most popular wine regions for Riesling, and then the Mosel took a little bit over. But I think the Rheingau, still in particular in Germany, is very well known and very well liked for Riesling.
And the wine auctions are super fun, right?
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, definitely go. We'll get to that shortly.
You may also notice, the first wine is called Schloss Löwenstein. But the estate basically calls Fürst Löwenstein, so so these two wines are labeled and they have the VDP logo on it, and they are called Fürst Löwenstein. Basically, that is the name of the estate.
And so do they have to qualify for VDP in both regions then?
Yes, definitely do, yeah.
So that's a pretty high bar. And for people who aren't too familiar with the region, in the context of German wines, how would you describe kind of the characteristics of the Rheingau typically, like in contrast to the Mosel, Franken, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Rheingau, first of all, it's known for Riesling, and with a little bit warmer climate, even it's the same level than the Mosel Valley, but, the south-facing hill, and so it is a kind of a little bit warmer climate, and then also a little bit richer soil. So the Rheingau wine have always a little bit more body, a little bit more richness, The Mosel wine in general, is always a little bit more lean and, more minerality, higher acidity. And in general, you can always say, the Mosel wine, you find the flavors of green apples, and then in the Rheingau or other Rhine regions as well, like Rheinhessen and the Pfalz, you find more this kind of stone fruit, like peaches, apricot, mango, so a little bit more this kind of fruit. So
cool.
Cool.
And then another specialty about this wine here, the estate is really known for dry wines. I said that a few times. This wine is called Feinherb, and many people maybe don't know what that is. It's a very old term in Germany. When you translate it, you could say it means fine dryness.
Okay.
So there's basically a term trocken, but means dry, and then Hallgarten off dry.
Sure, yeah.
And this wine is also off dry, but it's not regulated how much residual sugar have to be in the bottle. So the winery is very free to have 2% or 2.5,
Okay.
So,
I was going to ask because it seemed like while we were there in Germany, that sort of like the star classification was different from producer to producer.
Exactly.
Would you say Feinherb is something that's different from producer to producer as well? Like
exactly. There's no regulation.
Yeah.
It depends. If the winery thinks, this wine has high acidity, but even 3% residual sugar, he still maybe would put Feinherb on the bottle to give the customers. The information. Okay, this wine is not sweet. Even it have some residual sugar, but so
but
this wine has
typically not a lot in Feinherb. Sorry.
Yeah, it's always around 2%. I would say, or below.
Great.
In general.
I learned something tonight too. I didn't know.
When you look at the wine here, this wine at the alcohol level have 11% alcohol.
Right.
That's still very low.
So this is in Kabinett Trocken. This is Kabinett Feinherb.
Feinherb, exactly.
Right.
When it would be Trocken, then it would jump up to 12% or so.
Right.
And I feel like that label means more and more as like the normal cabinets become and Spätlese become riper and riper as time has gone by. That I think having some indicator that this isn't as sweet as it could be is it's a useful label. Yeah. I
think it's just getting past it takes everyone I think a little while to understand German labels, right? So that the information this information is super valuable. So I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Yeah, I think it is the balance of sweetness and acidity and the dryness. It's really a great balance. I think you get a lot of fruit. You have quite a bit of body for a Kabinett. Yeah.
It's really austere on the nose. I think it's a lot more minerality and kind of like running water in a stream or something like that.
This is gonna sound super weird, maybe, but like this is almost. Have you had Oregon Rieslings that smelled this way?
I can see it.
You know what I mean? It's got sort of like that undertone of minerality, like a bit of like apple-y component and citrus, but really sort of austere. And that's what you see sometimes in Oregon Rieslings. However, as soon as you taste it, you realize it's not Oregon. Like exactly. It's not even close. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I would say the Rheingau wines are much closer in the style to the Oregon Riesling than the Mosel.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Because of the soil, here you have also not this kind of just rocky slate soil.
Yeah.
So.
What kind of soil is
I mean, this one
here,
here,
the Rheingau?
I mean, definitely a little bit deeper soil. You have clay and limestone, and
Okay. Yeah, which is like here, right? Like a lot of like the ocean sedentary soils and like a lot of clay and
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a tiny area in the Rheingau too with some slate, what you find in the Mosel, but most of that is a little bit deeper, richer soil.
Sure. But yeah, killer acid on this. The fruit components sort of leaning towards like riper stone fruit, but just the way the acid kind of keeps it in check, and it sort of almost reminds me of the 13s, where it's not like overly ripe. It's like got a really nice sort of sense of freshness. This is super easy to drink now. Out of the 3 bottles we've tried so far, I would completely drain this bottle in a night. This is my jam right here.
Nice.
So absolutely delicious. Yeah. Very good.
So far, we have 1 more to go.
Yeah,
I know,
we
right?
got some really nice, some nice apple flavors and some nice young pineapple flavor in there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Just like that crisp acidity. I think I'm getting like just a little touch of where it's a little rounder. In contrast to previous ones, which had more brighter characters, a little darker. Dark seems dumb when talking about Riesling.
Yeah, we're talking white wine too.
It's got a little heavier feel to it, but
it's got a really long finish.
Are really nice, yeah.
And it's got a really long finish. The extension of like the how much acid there is here and how much fruit characteristics there is left on the palate after you swallow it. Like it's a nice long experience, and like this is not a hollow wine in any regard. Like there's not a single gap anywhere in this wine. Sure, it could be a little more maybe put together, and that might happen with a bit of age. But everything about it is super enjoyable to drink right now. So I have purchased a bunch of 2013 Trocken wines and off dry wines because I just love this like acid and fruit characteristics of this vintage, and this is another one that I think is fantastic. So.
And I think when you have some dishes, with a little bit more richness to it, comes perfect. So, like brown sauce on a pork roast, with brown sauce and.
Yeah. What's the price point on that wine?
This one is around $20. So.
Okay. Again, very reasonable, right? When you're talking about a single vineyard Riesling at this quality level, pretty fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel like the traditional foods in the Rheingau are a little different than the Mosel too, or about the same?
So
the traditional foods?
Very similar, I would say. Yeah.
So on to number 4.
Everybody in Germany eats potatoes and pork.
They're good things.
I like that food.
Yeah. So we're moving on to a real treat here. So this is something that we'll just keep going. So in Germany, many of the producers are part of production rings or little groups where historically they sold their wines. This is way back in time before they were bottling stuff to send to the States. Whenever they were selling full barrels of wine at auction to negotiants, essentially, right, who would do the bottling and sales for them. And as the years passed and these states started bottling and selling their own wine, they preserved the tradition of the auctions, and the producers pick out their favorite barrels every year, bottle them into single lots, and send them to auction.
It's awesome. Like, it's so cool.
The VDP is the most famous one, and then they do, 3 or 4 events in a series? But the Bernkasteler Ring is another one right in the area that also does their own event. A couple years ago, we were there. Ewald was nice enough to connect us with Johannes Zellbach, who is one of the, 5 or 6 people that are allowed to bid at these auctions?
At an auction,
Yeah, something like that. And they all coordinate the bidding.
So commissioners,
Commissioners, yes.
Yeah.
And basically the Bernkasteler Ring, this auction here, is the oldest one in Germany. That was the first one.
Know that.
Yeah,
that is
that's
cool.
the first one, yeah. And then the VDPA auction came a little bit later. So this one definitely, there are some smaller producers, family producers, but very good ones, like this particular one, Kees-Kieren, is really one of the top estates in the Mosel Valley.
Yeah.
And
been making great wine for a long time, but since this isn't the most famous auction, the prices stayed very reasonable. Yeah. And you know, he said he was able to make the bid there, and Ewald was kind enough to import it. And it just arrived pretty recently, so I'm happy to be able to share it with everybody. And I thought it would be an interesting item to include in the show.
Yeah. So this wine is not available to purchase anywhere. You know? Maybe when you go to Germany at the winery, they have a few bottles left, but you know.
But the pitch really is to go to the Mosel and go to one of these auctions. If you can't go, there's a couple places in the States, or people send out advertisements when the auctions are coming. You can make bids. I don't know if you still want to be involved in that or not, but
yeah, maybe even this year, you know, we'll bring some auction wine in.
Okay, so send him an email if you're interested in some next year, and maybe you can score a couple bottles for yourself. So, what is it? We have Kees-Kieren 2013 Erdener Treppchen Riesling Spätlese 2-star.
Yeah.
Oh.
Drink it.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. It wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
Oh my gosh, this smells freaking awesome. Great peaches, great apples, jumping out of the glass. A hint of botrytis?
Yeah, it's everything,
a bit.
but you're looking in the Spätlese, you know, there's the fruit, there's the acidity, you know. And the interesting thing is, you know, this wine is from the Erdener Treppchen vineyard, and you remember, you know,
Erden.
Yeah, but the estate is located in Krach, so most of the vineyards are Kracher Himmelreich and Kracher Domprops.
Okay.
We have another auction wine, the Auslese from the Kracher Domprops vineyard, but this particular one is basically far away, you know, not far away.
Not far away, like 8 miles probably, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, 6-7 kilometers, you know.
Man, but it just brings everything that I love about Mosel Riesling. It's got that really light, sparkly acidity on the sides of the palate, limes, green apples, and then just this rich, complicated peach flavors that just evolve forever.
Yeah, this wine gets also a kind of a gold award here, you know, so that's another thing. So, I mean, it's really one of the top Spätlese you find in the Mosel Valley. So.
And I feel like that's pretty common. I imagine almost all of the auction wines qualify for the these are the government awards, right?
Yeah. When you have an auction wine, I think you're very close to a gold award.
It's really, I mean, you could easily drink this, like drink the whole bottle of this, right? Like this is a very easy drinking wine, but it's like so freaking complex, right? It reminds me of some of the better dessert wines I've had out of the Mosel Valley so far. Like, I mean, it says Spätlese 2-star, right? But it feels a little more, there's a hint of botrytis on it, which I typically love in this style of wine. Like that sort of, those flavors along with like the fresh fruit components, like all these honey components, the high acid just make this like completely complex experience. It's hard to like pin down individual moments of what you're tasting, right? So this is in line with some of the best Spätlese I've ever tasted in my life. Like, it's absolutely wonderful. So, how much was this bottle?
I don't remember.
So if you flew to Germany or you talked to Ewald, how much could you buy?
I want to say it was.
I think it was around 15.
I was going to say I want to say it was under 20 euros a bottle because I remember the quote when we were tasting it.
Euro, you know.
Good God.
That Johannes said. After we tasted, he said, "If this price doesn't go up, I think I'm going to buy some for myself." Because so with the currency conversion, this was about $20, right? Of course, you pay more to for the auction and for the import fees, but it's still this isn't a $50 bottle of wine, and it's as good as any $50 bottle of Riesling I've ever had.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. That's the treat of being in wine for a long time. Is anybody watching this show knows every once in a while the universe just lines up perfectly. You get a sweet deal.
Isn't that the game? It's almost like hunting, right? You're trying to find this.
Exactly.
In the whole scheme of wine, you're trying to find this, right? Like, this is wonderful.
It's all right. So that wraps everything up. We sure enjoyed drinking these. I hope you guys enjoyed watching them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
This was an awesome show. And some of the knowledge that you dropped today was absolutely fantastic. I know our viewers will appreciate it.
Yeah,
so.
I like to do the shows because then we can open good bottles of wine.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? It's a great reason.
That's the only reason I come here, to
Drink good wine.
take some good wine.
Absolutely. It's always good to share good wines with friends, right?
Yeah, makes for a good friendship. But if you want to buy any of these 3 wines we were talking about, or get involved in next year's auctions, send him an email. His email is there. If you work in the restaurant business, get some of these on glass pours. They're great.
Totally worth trying. Some of these are very compelling at the price point. So
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.